Hello, this is Philip and welcome to my channel for this new episode of kOS. Today I explain to you how to create variables. First thing, a variable can be just see as a shortcut. For example, imagine I have 10 or 15 script missions, and each time I reach space, I want to print we are in space. And one day I decide to change that sentence, we are in space, and I want to write we reach space. Don't know if it's better, but I want to change it. And if I have to change it for all my scripts, it can be a long time for me to change all of this, and I can forget one script, I don't know. So it is better to change that sentence by a variable. For example, I can change it by a variable that is called print space, right? And somewhere I have to declare this variable. I have to create this variable. I like to, in my lib folder, I like to create a file called variables. And I put all my variables here. So here I want to create my variable called print space. What was the name? Yes, print space. Okay, and I want to declare that variable to be equal to the sentence we are in space, and I want to change it. Okay, we reach space. This is the idea, but you see, it's not the way I have to define it. I have to say that variable is global. Like a function can be global or local. A variable can be global or local. And the global variable print space is the sentence we reach space. Okay, and I say that that variable is global because I want to use it in all my scripts. So here in the toSpace script, I have to run one path, the library variables. Okay, sometimes I need a variable to be only local. Maybe here in that script I need a variable that I will only use in that particular script. Maybe this number 0.1, it is the ETA apophysis I want to wait. This depends only on that script, so maybe I can change that. I don't know, wanted ETA, and here I will write local wanted ETA is 0.1, and that local variable is used only in that script, and it can't be used in that variable's script. For example, here I can say print wanted ETA. Okay, the script doesn't recognize the wanted ETA. The symbol wanted ETA may not exist. Okay, so this is the difference between a global print space and a local, a global variable and a local variable. Okay, so the global variable is used everywhere, and the local variable is used only in your script you are written. And sometimes it is not available for all the scripts. For example, when you have a function, if I declare here a local variable, that variable will be available only for that function, and outside this function, the variable will not exist. If I want it to exist everywhere, I have to write global. That's the first thing you have to know about variables, how to set it globally or locally. Some other example I want to use global space altitude. Global space altitude is the ship body at ATM height, and there is no need to create a variable here, but it's easier for me to remember the name space alt than the name ship body ATM height. And here I can change this with space alt. That's all. This is the same ship orbit apoapsis. I can just change it at ship apo, for example, and here I can create a global variable called ship apo, and this variable is defined by ship orbit apoapsis. Okay, so as I said, those variables are like shortcut. That means it's just shorter words. It will be easier for me to remember those words instead of the old structure. It will be easier for me to change my script if I use the variables. As I said at the beginning of this video, if I want now to change, we reached space and we are in space finally, I prefer the first sentence. I just have to change this variable and I don't need to change all my script. This is a new situation. Imagine I need a local wanted altitude variable. Okay, local wanted alt is maybe the space altitude, okay, 70 kilometers. So I have some code here, okay, code here. And I want to wait until my ship altitude is greater or equal to the wanted altitude. And reaching this altitude, I have something to do, okay, experiments to do, something like that. And then I want to, because I don't know, maybe my rocket is going to the moon, so I want to I wait until I am out of atmosphere, and then I want to wait until I am, I don't know, 2,000 kilometers above Kerbin. So I want to change the wanted altitude, and I want to wait until my ship is above this new wanted altitude. So I don't need to create another variable. I can just use the variable that is here. I just need to change its value. For this, I can use the set word. So I can set wanted altitude to another number. For example, 2,000 kilometers. So that means 2 million meters. If you want to read a great number like that, you can use the underscore character, okay, and that will be the same. So this is 2 millions. Okay, then. So here I have created a variable. I have created it locally, and I used the word local with the word is. Local wanted altitude is space altitude. This will be the same with global. Here I change the value of a variable that already exists. For this, I use the set wanted altitude 2. I don't use is, I use 2 and the new number. Okay. If you write set wanted altitude to 2 millions and the variable wanted altitude doesn't exist, kOS will create it automatically. So when you set a variable to something, kOS first looks if the variable exists. If the variable exists, then kOS just changes its value. But if the variable doesn't exist, then kOS creates it, and it creates it globally and not locally, right? Okay, so this is a way to create a variable and then to change it. Okay, local or global, the name of the variable is, and set the name of the variable too. Let's have a look at that situation. Here I have a ship in orbit. The orbit is a very elliptical orbit, and the altitude of my ship is changing fast. Okay, here my ship is close to its periapsis, so the altitude is decreasing, and soon it will be increasing. But that's not the point. The point is my new script here. I called it lock set because I want to show you the difference between set and lock. You already know what is set. Set is to create a variable, or more exactly to change the value of a variable. And if the variable doesn't exist, kOS creates it, and it creates it globally. So here I have set alt1 to the ship altitude. Okay, so I create a new global variable, alt1, and that the value of that variable is ship altitude. Okay, so it is a number here. The alt2 variable is also ship altitude, but the keyword here is lock. So alt1 is set to ship altitude, and alt2 is lock to ship altitude. And then I want to print some tests, so I want to print alt1 and then alt2, and I wait 1 second, then I print alt1 and I print alt2, I wait 1 second, and then I print alt1 and alt2. Okay, so I saved the script and I want to run it. So run. What is the name of this? Lockset.ks. Okay, so in the first test, the two values are the same, and then they are not the same. Okay, in the first test, alt1 is defined as the ship altitude. So at the moment when I pressed run test, it recorded the value of the ship altitude. At that moment it was 192,645, and the same for alt2. Then I wanted to print alt1 and alt2. Alt1 did not change its value, because when I set a variable to a value, it is set until I change it manually. So here I never change the value of alt1, so the variable is always the same. So it is this value, always the same. But lock, lock works differently. When I need that variable, alt2, if the variable is locked to a value, kOS will recalculate the value of the variable. If it's a constant value, for example, the height of the atmosphere. The height of the atmosphere is a constant value, 70 kilometers. So if it's a constant value, I don't need to use lock. Set is very good. But if it's not a constant value, like here, ship altitude, I can use the lock version of creating a variable, because each time I want to use alt2, kOS will recompute the value of alt2, and that's why the value here changed, because during the first test, kOS computed the value of alt2, all right, then it has waited 1 second, and for the second test, kOS needed the value of alt1. The value of alt1 is setted to ship altitude, and the value of alt2 is locked, so he computed again alt2. And then one more time, it computed alt2 for the third test. Okay, so a lock is a variable, but the variable is updated each time kOS needs it. That's a very big difference with the set. There are two very important things about lock. Two things you will use a lot of time in your scripts. There is a throttle and steering. Steering is a topic of my basics number 14, so I won't speak about it now. I will speak about throttle. Throttle is the value here is the power into your engine. For example, for now, the throttle is set to 0, so the engine doesn't work. It is not ignited. And the max value is 100%, so it is 1. So I can lock the throttle, and this is important, you can lock the throttle to something, for example, to 1. If I do this, it will ignite the engine to its max power. And it is a lock because that means that every physics tick kOS will recompute your throttle. For that example, it is not important to use lock or set, but sometimes, and you will see that when I will talk about the maneuver, I want to change my lock as the delta V changed to. For now, it doesn't make any sense for you, I'm sure, but it will. So if I lock throttle to 1, I press enter, and okay, quickly I change the throttle to 0.1, and I can change the throttle to 0.5, and to cut the engine, throttle to 0. Okay, and with that I have changed my orbit to an escaping orbit. And just for fun, if I want to print my ship status, escaping, because here I am in an escaped orbit. I am escaping Kerbin. You see, so you will see a lot lock throttle in your script. I just have one last thing to talk about, and this will be the end of the video. This is the kOS online documentation. I am on the vessel page, and this is a structure. Now you know it, and there is a lot of suffixes. And if I choose one, for example, the suffix name, this is here, okay, or ship name or status, you see that you have access, or for the vessel ship name, you have access to get and set. And for the status, you only have a get access. Same thing for the delta v. What does it mean? It means that you can set the ship name as a variable, and you can change the ship name using the set keyword. So you can write set vessel ship name to and the name you want, and it will change the value of the name of your ship's name, right? But you can change the status. Okay, my craft is actually in an escaping orbit. I can change, I can say, okay, set vessel status to landed or to splashed. It's not possible. I don't have any action on this status. Okay, it's not up to me to change the status. It is KSP which controls the status. The ship name, I control the ship name, so I can change it, but I can't change the status or the delta V of my vessel. That's why in the documentation you have a get set or a get only. Okay, that is all for this new episode of the variables. I hope you enjoy it, and now you know how to change a variable, how to create a variable. In the next episode, we'll talk about vectors. So see you soon for that episode. Bye bye.